Alright, what's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. And I bet everybody's confused. Had a bunch of people on for the live stream, and it looked like I had some audio issues. I said I was going to reboot the actual, well, there were some updates that I needed to install. But the problem was I was editing the Star Wars Rebels video. Some of you might not have known that, but I just posted a video on Star Wars Rebels on Bo-Katan and her appearance in the first episode of Star Wars Rebels. I forgot to close all my editing software out, so Adobe everything was up, and I can't stream or do any like screen capture or anything when I have Adobe Premiere running. So that was the real issue. But then I said, well, I got to install some updates, and then maybe if you don't know like the whole thing about when you live stream, if you come on within 15 minutes, YouTube makes it all part of the same stream, and I didn't want the bad audio to be on the recording, because then people will watch and be like, oh, can't hear him, don't care that he fixed it later. So I needed to go in and delete that other file and then wait 15 minutes before I could start the new stream. But anyway, like I was saying, you guys couldn't hear me. There's a presentation to this fan theory, this speculation that I'm going to present. So I'm going to pull up the slides because you guys need to actually see the pictures to follow along with what I'm saying. And this is all based on someone's breakdown of the episode 8 trailer that we saw Monday night. So I'm going to pull up the presentation. You guys bear with me, and we're going to get right into this. Alright, why is the, alright, we're having a, oh, okay, I see what happened. Alright, well, my screen don't want to come up. Who y'all for technical difficulties? Are you going to come up here? There we go. Alright. The joys of doing stuff live when technology doesn't want to work with you. All right, let's get into the presentation now. All right, guys, so if you were on the live stream about the possibility of the Force Ghosts on Oct 2, that was in yesterday's live stream, then you'll remember me talking about here in a fan theory in the Hyperspace Theories podcast about Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi. Now that Force Ghost video, or the live stream, that too was based on things that I heard on the Hyperspace Theories podcast with Trisha Barr, BJ Priester, and Kay. So the quick summary of this fan theory that BJ Priester presented is that basically Ben Solo's character arc in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, is going to be very similar to Anakin Skywalker's story in Revenge of the Sith. So hope you all like Anakin. We know how things turned out for Anakin. He came into the movie having just dispatched his Padawan Ahsoka Tano to deal with Darth Maul and the Death Watch on Mandalore. I also talked about that in that Rebels video. If you haven't seen it, check that out after you get off the live stream if you're not doing anything. Anakin and Obi-Wan were on their way to rescue Chancellor Palpatine from Count Dooku and General Grievous. And Anakin's feelings were that he could bring a quick end to the war, but a force vision, force forward, changed everything. And Anakin's feelings of distrust with the Jedi and his concerns for Padme and his unborn child caused him to feel alienated. Of course, we know what happened. He ended up turning to the dark side and becoming a Sith Lord so that he could bring a swift end to the Clone Wars and to save Padme. But unfortunately, we know what happened. She ended up dying, and Anakin believed for almost 2 decades that his child had also died, and he ended up literally becoming the man in the Iron Mask. So let's dive into BJ's theory. So because he says something like that could be in store for Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi, or maybe we could see something a little bit different. So this theory that he came up with is based on things that he picked up on in the recent trailer for Star Wars Episode 8. And you're seeing this image of Kylo Ren sitting contemplatively with the red backdrop. I assume that's in Snoke's throne room as he picks up his lightsaber. And this view of Kylo Ren is very reminiscent of him in his quarters aboard his ship when he is doing that very scene that's reminiscent of Hamlet. Hamlet talking to the skull. Kylo Ren is talking to the charred remains of the mask of Vader. Now we go to here, we see Kylo Ren still wearing the helmet, and he's on that turbo lift. For some reason unknown to us at this time, but this is part of what this theory is hinging on. Kylo Ren smashes his helmet into the wall of that turbo lift, and we saw that smash helmet in the glass from the teaser trailer that we saw at D23 back in April. If you look at the lights, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse moving around, but if you look at those lights at the top, same lights, so it's the turbo lift, right? All right, now let's go to the shot before that we saw in the trailer. So according to BJ, the pose of Ben's head is a callback to Anakin Skywalker looking out of the window at the Jedi Temple in the Padme Rumination scene in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin is deciding if he will intervene with the Jedi Masters who are on their way to take out Darth Sidious. Of course, Anakin decides that he will. He hops in his speeder, and he does, and we know how that turns out. He ends up swearing fealty to the Dark Lord of the Sith, becoming a Dark Lord himself. I will dub thee Lord Vader. Rise, my apprentice. And then he gets sent to the Jedi Temple, where he kills a bunch of younglings. Master Skywalker, I don't know what to do. Chokes out his wife Padme on Mustafar. You will go to the Mustafar system. And he learns to never give Obi-Wan Kenobi the high ground. So we go to this scene of Kylo Ren. Let's get serious again. Kylo Ren is flying. This is from the trailer that we saw Monday night. Flying his ship during the space battle, doing all kinds of battle rolls like his name is Star Fox, and he's flying very similarly to how Anakin was flying in Revenge of the Sith in that space battle at the very beginning of that movie. So there are a lot of Revenge of the Sith callbacks, and we know that Rian Johnson is a big fan of the prequels. And my homeboy Niger, I know you've been asking me about that, so here you go from BJ Priester, and there's your shout out. I'm gonna have to get you on a podcast or something in 2018 after the movie comes out, so we can have two theologians break down the movie. So anyway, what you guys are all here for is this shot right here, right? This shot of Rey in Snoke's throne room. If you look off to Rey's hip on the left side, it looks like we see Snoke in the pimp robes. And if you look over her shoulder, we see one of the Praetorian guards. I think it's the Donatello one that has the Guan Dao or the Pu Dao or whatever it is, the really big knife. Attached to a staff. So let's talk about that. So the scene at the end of the trailer where we see part of Snoke's robe and Rey is bent over backwards screaming, and Snoke's Praetorian guards looking on. Kylo Ren is not in the image, but what we see is a very cropped image of the entire scene. So we don't know who all is there because, you know, we know that Snoke has 8 guards and we only see one of them. So there could be people lined all around this room. Kylo Ren could also be there, possibly. Now, it's important to have a little bit of information before we move forward. And that information, if you guys that are here, you all know that I put this out a long time ago. It's in the visual guide for The Force Awakens. I've said it in at least 2 Kylo Ren videos going back to the beginning of the year. But if you don't know and you're new here, because maybe the replay goes viral or something, and I would be happy if it would, so you guys share it if you're watching live. But at New York Comic-Con, Kylo Ren's helmet was on display along with a number of other props from The Last Jedi. And the description for Kylo Ren's helmet read that he wears the helmet to disguise his identity. At least that's one of the reasons he wears the helmet, and that is to disguise his identity. So, if we have a Vader Anakin thing going on here with Kylo Ren, then the helmet is Kylo Ren, but the face is Ben Solo. And we saw this at the end of The Force Awakens with Han and Ben out on the catwalk. Han asked Kylo Ren to remove his helmet so that he can see the face of his son. And what do we see? We see that the helmet is Kylo Ren, but the face is Ben Solo. So what BJ says is that Ben is smashing the helmet because that's the moment where he is deciding, I don't want to be Kylo Ren anymore. I want to be Ben Solo. And he's taking that turbolift to go and rescue Rey. Now, the full title of this video was that Kylo Ren will rescue Rey or save Rey from Snoke, and Rey knows it. So there's a second half to what BJ says in his theory when he broke down the trailer, right? And that is that, well, we saw this scene at the end of the trailer. The initial thoughts before people, when our brains were exploding and we had no idea what was going on, and I looked confused in my reaction video, was that Kylo Ren and Rey are having a conversation. Of course, when we were able to think critically and analyze this, notice the collar, then we realized, wait a minute, Rey is still wearing her resistance clothing. This has to be on Act-2. And in the breakdown video that I posted yesterday, I said that Rey is having this conversation at the campfire on Act-2 with someone. We don't know who yet. I think it would be awesome if she were talking to Yoda or a Force Ghost, which is why I did the live stream yesterday. But I think my brain was so confused and doing the ADHD thing that I kind of do sometimes that I completely forgot to tell you guys. I think it would be awesome if Rey had a conversation with Yoda, and that's who she's talking to at that point in time. But we've still got to account for that misdirection in the trailer. So this is what BJ has to say about it. On Act-2, Rey is experiencing Force-backed visions because there's no flashbacks. And we know that we're going to get more information on how the Jedi Temple was destroyed, what all went into Ben Solo turning to the dark side and joining up with the Knights of Ren and eventually Snoke. Because if you've seen my really old videos about Ben Solo, then I told you that in the Art of the Force Awakens, the way they lay it out in the concept artwork is that Ben left the Jedi Order. He fell in with a gang, meaning the Knights of Ren, and then he joined Snoke. And whether that's right or wrong, we don't know yet. We have to wait and find out the details. But of course, we see the destruction of the Jedi Temple. We've seen this image in the teaser. We've seen it in the trailer, and we saw it from a different angle in The Force Awakens in the Force-back vision. Now, in the trailer, we saw Luke's hand, and that is Luke's hand. I know some people didn't see the text where I corrected myself and said, no, that's his right hand after I watched it several times. I had people messaging me saying, Prince, look and see if that's a left hand or a right. Guys, always go with your gut feeling. Always let the Force guide you. My gut feeling was that's Luke Skywalker and that's his right hand. Why do these people keep telling me it's his left hand? And then when I wrote my script, I said left hand. And then when I went back to edit, I said, that's his right hand. I've watched this 20 times now. That's a right hand. So that's Luke Skywalker crawling out of the pile of wood. There's fire around him. We're assuming that's the destruction of the Jedi Temple. For whatever reasons, Kylo Ren left Luke alive. That's a mirror. There are lots of mirrors to Revenge of the Sith of that's a mirror of Obi-Wan leaving Anakin alive instead of picking his stump up and throwing him in the lava there on Mustafar and ending this whole thing, right? So Luke was left alive. Why? Rey will probably find out in the Force back vision, because she's going to see Kylo Ren. Notice the cinders around. We see, you know, there's fire here. There's something burning here. There's Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo without his mask. And she sees him, and ordinarily she would hate him, but he is extending his hand to her in the vision. And it's an indication that Rey needs to trust Kylo Ren. At some point in the future, she is going to see him, and she is going to have to trust him. He is going to bend the knee or extend the hand to her. So that is BJ's fan speculation, his fan theory on how Kylo Ren is going to save Rey. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, it sounds like what Vader does for Luke in Return of the Jedi. So, you know, people, well, we've already seen that. I mean, history can repeat itself. You know, Snoke keeps talking about Vader's biggest weakness was a sentimentality, right? His sentiment, for saving family, saving people he cares about. And I've always felt all along that Snoke was saying that not because he knew exactly what happened aboard the Death Star, but Kylo Ren probably told him, and Snoke is telling him is in a sense like, now remember when this happened, and remember because I don't want it to happen to you. Now, I'm not saying that I buy the theory. I'm not gonna talk all about why I think it's wrong. I'm just gonna leave it up for discussion with you guys. Of course, you guys do know that I'm working on a video why Kylo Ren is a tragic hero. I think something like this possibly could happen. I think that Kylo Ren is going to be this person who kind of walks the line of the dark and the light, right? When we look at the Mortis arc, the son wasn't necessarily bad, but he had a strong pull to the dark side. He had a curiosity, and something about the pull to the dark side was making him evil. But he wasn't always evil. The son wasn't. That was just his nature. And I think that we're going to see a new style, a new way of looking at the dark side, where I think Kylo Ren is still going to have a pull to the dark side, but he'll also have a pull to the light. And it's not going to be this either or. He's a bad guy, he's a villain, and he can only do bad things. I think he's going to be the mirror to Rey, right? They are linked. Rey needs Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren needs Rey. Rey needs Kylo Ren to see this is what the dark side will do to you. Kylo Ren needs Rey to keep him from going too far into the dark side, to keep him from losing himself to the darkness. That is how I interpret Rian Johnson's statement about Kylo Ren and Rey both being heroes, both needing each other, both being necessary, and J.J. Abrams' statement about Rey and Kylo Ren being linked. And that's why I don't accept the Reylo theory, is because I don't think they need to be lovers to be linked and tied together. I think it has more to do with their relationship to the Force and where those characters will go, what they mean in the big picture, the grand scale of things, right? One of the things that I'm going to talk about in my video on Kylo Ren being the tragic hero is a statement that came from Adam Driver, Kylo Ren himself. I think something bad is going to happen to Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren will live through the movie. I think that it's possible that he could save Rey. I think Kylo Ren is going to do some heroic things and some very villainous things. He's going to end... as much as I don't like the term gray Jedi, I think Kylo Ren could end up being a very gray character. Meaning, it's like he takes 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or 1 step forward and 2 steps back. he does both of them. I said it that way on purpose, right? It's like he'll do something really good, but then he'll turn around and do something really evil. And then he'll do something really, really evil, but then turn around and do something really, really good. And he never makes progress, and it's like he can't get out of his own way. Those are my thoughts, because I feel like something really, really bad is going to happen to Kylo Ren in this movie. Like I said, it's all based on statements that Adam Driver's made about the character. I'm going to actually, hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing that, but I'm going to actually put clips of the interviews from Adam Driver in my video, my deep dive video on the Kylo Ren character and things that the way I'm interpreting him right now, heading into episode 8. And that's probably going to be an ongoing thing. I'm probably going to keep going back and analyzing and reanalyzing the Kylo Ren character. So I blew up from talking about Finn. Maybe in 2018 I'll blow up and do 200,000 subscribers or something like that from talking about this dude Kylo Ren, because I mean, I realize I'm like the black voice of Star Wars fans, you know, and that's not me saying, well, I only want black fans. It's just that's something that Sandra, who's the social media consultant person for the Fangirls Going Rogue podcast, she kind of pointed out that I'm like the only black person of color talking about Star Wars here on YouTube, or maybe anywhere that I can think of, and that's cool. But you know, I can bring in people because I'm a big fan of this dude too. I don't give him a pass maybe the way I give Finn passes, because but I'm a big fan of Kylo Ren. I'm not gonna give y'all any BS on Kylo Ren. I'm gonna hit him hard. But you know what? If Kylo Ren does some awesome stuff in episode 8, I'm gonna talk about it. I want a Kylo Ren lightsaber. So somebody from Hasbro, if y'all are watching this, I want one of these. I want one of these because I want to do a big video on Kylo Ren's lightsaber, his fighting style, everything. I want to get like deep into canon stuff too, not any make-believe stuff. So Hasbro, I want one of these. I got the costume. I will make y'all look good and help y'all sell a whole lot of lightsabers. And y'all keep checking back, keep supporting the channel so y'all can make that happen. Let me know your thoughts on this fan theory down in the comments below. I'm going to be going back and reading what you guys are saying here once I get off. So I'm not ignoring you. I usually sit here and read everything before I go about what I'm going to do. So let me know what you think about what BJ had to say. If you're on iTunes or Stitcher, look up the Hyperspace Theories podcast. Check them out. Post a review for them and let them know, hey man, Prince talked about this theory that BJ was talking about, and I just came here to check out your podcast and keep doing awesome things. And I'm gonna wrap it up from there and get to work on this Kylo Ren video. Hopefully I can get it up to you guys tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thank you very much, guys, for coming back after the technical difficulties I had earlier. Glad I got everything fixed. The next time I come on and the audio's messed up, say, Prince, you probably have Adobe Premiere open, and close all your stuff. You only need to have this open to stream and talk to us. Close all that other shit. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.